Hello there, and welcome to Chip Advisor. Yes, hello there. I'm Phil. I'd like to apologise for last week. It was fairly shambolic. If you haven't listened to the pancakes episode, then, I shouldn't apologise yet. We don't know what today's going to be like. Anyway, hello everyone. I'm here with
Harry. Where's Harry? Harry!
Hello.
Hello, Harry. How are you?
Oh, I'm all right. Yeah, last week. I mean, where to start, really?
Yeah,
where to start? So I wasn't here last week because I went on a retreat.
Oh, lovely.
A mindfulness and wellness retreat.
Oh, that sounds nice.
And I did a lot of meditation and mindfulness, and it was terrific. And I realize now that the reason that I was sent on this retreat was so that I could be calm and centered and grounded in order for me to listen to last week's podcast. Because if I hadn't been on this retreat, I'm not sure where I'd be now, quite honestly. I mean, for goodness sake. I mean, your foot, Phil. I mean, sorry, generally it's Mike, but this time it's you, Phil.
Yeah.
You're going, presumably in your cat jumper, to a school hall somewhere with your long-suffering wife and children who are like, what are we doing? And watching a school play. And like, you've got your cat jumper and shoes on, and they're ringing the police, presumably. Who is this bloke?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
It wasn't a school play. It was just a small amateur dramatics company. But yeah, I hear what you're saying, and don't think it's coincidence that I've introduced you first, so the listeners don't turn off thinking that you're not here.
Yeah. And then you very kindly said that I was the glue that holds the podcast together. I'm not sure about that. Lewis is the glue that holds the podcast together.
We'll see by the end of the podcast, because we're getting the band back together today. I'm here with Mike as well. How are you, Mike?
How now, brown cow? Good to see you leading with the big hitters first with Harry. Very good. Good to have him back. I'm curious, Harry, how much of the retreat was like helpful in the mindfulness respect, and how much of it was helpful in that you just got a lie in and didn't have to do any jobs?
Okay, blimey. No, it was helpful in the mindfulness. I mean, just to be serious for a moment, I suffer a bit with the old mental health, and it was very good. For me to have a bit of concentration time on myself, think about things, breathing. What about breathing? We won't talk about that now, but maybe we'll do a meditation episode. I mean, the consequences of the fact that I was on my own and was able to get a lie in, I mean, that really is, inconsequential to the other stuff, but beneficial.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Very good.
We're also here today with Lewis. How are you, Lewis?
I'm all right, thank you. Like Harry, I try to be quite centered and mindful and prayerful. But I tell you what, I needed quite a lot of all my concentrations of prayerfulness after our last episode. They were dark days, but it's a new day today. It's a new day and a new pod. I'm excited.
And to think, I edited out 10 minutes worth of discussion.
Just 10?
Just 10, and purely to try and reduce the offence being given to the Scots.
Yeah.
It was, Mike, I don't know what happened to Mike that day. I think he had a bad day or something.
It was a Friday night, lads. You don't record after I've worked for a week.
No, true. We work. Well, we're recording on a Friday lunchtime today, so we'll see what that does to things. And we're talking about afternoon tea. Oh, I love an afternoon tea. And we're doing this because it's Mother's Day soon. And last week we did Pancakes episode after Pancake Day. So we're getting ahead of the game on this one with an afternoon tea. Now, which of you have treated your wives to an afternoon tea on Mother's Day before?
Yeah, I have.
You have?
A homemade one.
Oh.
Yeah, we've done
very
that.
impressive. Very impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's cheaper, isn't it, Mike?
It's a lot cheaper. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we've definitely done afternoon tea. I can't recall whether it was on Mother's Day or not.
What about you, Harry?
No, I don't think actually I've ever done afternoon tea specifically for Mother's Day. Was just going to ask, just at this juncture, when is Mother's Day? It's a bit like Easter, isn't it? It moves around and it gets a bit confusing.
2 weeks on Sunday. That doesn't help our
2 weeks on
listeners.
Sunday, right? Good.
2 weeks on Sunday.
No, but it helps me.
I've just realised, actually, I'm saying that we hadn't been out for Mother's Day for afternoon tea. I think during those dark days of COVID, I think we had one delivered on Mother's Day where you could when we were trying to support lots of businesses that were struggling. Yeah, I do now remember we did have an afternoon tea delivered in a box.
Very nice.
My abiding memory of Mother's Day growing up, here we go again, is that there was a 3-line whip that all the children went to church on Mother's Day. No, it's not sad. It really isn't sad. And the three, and that was in place. No, certainly not that either.
Something in the middle of those two, Phil.
Just between there, somewhere, no, 3-line whip. We all had to go, all 4 of us. Tom Jones.
Quite unusual to see Harry in church.
But that was in the days when I was told what to do by the matriarch. But so we all got sent to church, and of course every year you realise it was because your children had to go up the front and get a posy of flowers, and she's not a greedy woman generally, my mother, but she did like her flowers, so she'd come out with handfuls, of flowers all in tin foil. Yeah.
Well, of course you'd all get a posy, wouldn't you?
Yeah. We'll have to troop up one at a time. Yeah, age categories. Old Vicar Philip was pretty regimented in going up there. Do you do the same things now, Lewis?
I mean, just to let you know, the poses in tinfoils was very much an Alderholt-based thing. I'm not sure that is replicated countrywide.
Oh,
there are poses, some kind of flowers to give away is very much the thing, but the old poses with the tinfoil around the bottom, in my experience, is very much an Alderholt-based experience.
Well, it still happens to today, and it's still the same lady making up those posies. She's now, I believe, 96, but she still makes the poses of flowers. And we've moved on as a church in that, of course, the mums will get one, but then there's mother figures, and then it's just sort of a free for all. Dads can have one as well.
Yeah, it's a dangerous and difficult morning to hold. Because you're going to upset someone.
I don't mind it. Let's have a Father's Day service where the dads get some chocolates or, I don't know, some football cards.
Football cards.
Mike,
or not to have to go to church.
Yeah. Does that count for me too?
Yeah,
I reckon.
Okay.
So afternoon teas then, a very British thing, very popular in Ireland actually. First came about in 1840 when a dear lady, a friend of Queen Victoria, who goes by the name of Anna, who was the 7th Duchess of Bedford.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know it. So the problem was that gas lights had started becoming a thing, and so people would eat later and later into the night because they could, especially the wealthy.
Why is gaslighting called gaslighting? Like when you, like I said, it's a state, it's a where you manipulate somebody mentally, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's
not worry about that right now. I got a minute of content this week.
Sorry. Okay.
So far, so
okay.
I'm worried at any point Harry's just going to walk off.
Okay. All right. Sorry. Yeah.
Because he may have been told, cut out the things that annoy you. See you later.
I won't walk off. I'll just zone out and concentrate on my breathing.
Yes. Yes, indeed. So what had happened? These gaslights had.
Could we have a weekend away retreat? Would that work? Bit of a lads' weekend away, doing some meditation.
How laddish is it going to be with us four? Would you say?
Yeah.
I mean, we all went on Mike's stag night. We can answer how laddie this is going to be.
I mean, when we have lads' weekends away, it normally ends by 10 o'clock with a peppermint tea.
Yeah.
So, you know, incidentally, the term gaslighting was coined from the 1938 British play called Gaslight, in which a husband manipulates his wife into thinking she's crazy.
Right,
Great.
lovely.
Thanks.
Sorry, carry on.
And sorry, no, just to hold on a minute.
No, yeah.
Just to think about our weekends away.
Yeah.
We don't concentrate on our own breathing. We concentrate on listening to you breathing, Mike, very loudly.
I'm an excellent breather.
Yes, you are. We can all vouch for that. Anyway, the Duchess of Bedford had invented something.
The Duchess of Bedford noticed that because you'd have your lunch at midday, and because you had these lights, you could eat later into the night. So people were pushing back dinner time, and she got a bit peckish around 4 or 5 o'clock. So she then requested that whoever, her chef or whatever, made her some bread and butter, some pot of tea, and maybe some cakes, and brought them up. And in doing so, created what we would now refer to as an afternoon tea, which for those who don't know, as sometimes we get told, an afternoon tea is a selection of finger sandwiches, usually on 3 tiered plates, a selection of finger sandwiches. We'll talk about, the contents of those because they're questionable often. Then you get a scone or scone. Scone. You get a nice scone with some jam and some clotted cream. Then you get like a selection of cakes, and then all that with unlimited pots of tea, and you just sit there, and it's very relaxing. It's much more relaxing, I find, than going out for a normal meal.
It's a glorified packed lunch.
Yeah, it is a glorified packed lunch, but you're not having to pack it, which is a bonus, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, that is one of the worst jobs around the home, isn't it? Doing the packed lunches. That's just a bit.
True story.
It's a bit rubbish. So it's much more relaxing than if you go out for dinner in the evening. It's a bit noisy and a lot going on. It's just something quite cultured about stopping, having an afternoon tea, and it can last for ages because you've just got unlimited tea. You can really milk it.
Oh, good pun.
Oh, didn't even realize I was doing that. Didn't even realize. Yeah, so smooth. So yeah, the afternoon tea then developed, and it became because it was made by the Duchess of Bedford. It was quite an upper class thing, and people used to, especially women, it allowed women to meet up together and natter and gossip, and where normally women, had things to do like cleaning, they would just be able to meet up.
Anyone else just started to feel a bit uncomfortable about the last couple of sentences?
But in those days, that's what they did. Right. I'm not saying women should be doing that. I'm just saying in those days, traditionally, that's what women would do: is stay at home and clean and
they needed more space for nattering.
Yeah, they didn't get to do what women naturally do, which is natter and gossip.
So they would meet up. The women would meet up together, and they'd have great fun. But they would dress up. And even now, if you go out for an afternoon tea, it is quite traditional that you will dress up for the occasion. Maybe not if you're going up the pub, up the road. But if you're going somewhere nice for an afternoon tea, a lot of them have dress codes where you've got to be at least smart casual, which would be a problem for me, if I'm honest.
Well, so they have bouncers on the door saying if you've got trainers on, you're not coming in.
Pretty much, yeah. So there's strict dress code, especially at some of the establishments that I've been looking up. There's a strict dress code. You must be at least what they would call smart casual. But it became a real social event, and lots of friends would meet up and have an afternoon tea. Nowadays, it's more something you treat your mum to. Or you could go with friends, though. I mean, I don't think we're going to ever meet up, us four, and have an afternoon tea.
I mean, we could have one at our retreat weekend.
That's true. Yeah,
that's quite refined.
Yeah, that's true. Now, the difference of an afternoon tea to just making some sandwiches at home, for me personally, it's the crockery. It's the bone china teacups, the saucers.
Yeah,
tea tastes nicer out of a cup and saucer than it does out of a mug. Am I right?
I'm not the right person to ask because I don't like tea.
It tastes more refined. I don't know if it tastes better.
Yeah. What, you feel more refined drinking it that way?
Or more uncomfortable. If my natural fit is more relaxed, then
Yeah.
I'm a little on edge drinking out of bone china. Whereas give me a mug, I'm comfortable.
Yeah, but if you go for a nice afternoon tea at the Ritz or somewhere like that,
Yeah.
then you don't want them to give you a Sports Direct mug of tea, do you?
No, I don't suppose you do. No, I don't suppose you do. I think naturally I'm a bit of a scruff bag.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
okay. I mean, don't hold back. So take a second to think. Yeah, but I think going somewhere where you have to dress up smart and eat, delicate food and have your pinky out as you sip on your bone china.
Oh.
Yeah, easy, Tiger. I know you're about to hit the bleep button. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know that I do prefer it. I think I prefer a mug of tea and a meal deal sandwich.
Oh, okay. Harry, you strike me as someone who's been for a few afternoon
Oh,
teas.
for sure.
No, well, not really. It's not my go-to. I mean, I have had them, but not very often. Really, I wouldn't say. It's not my number one.
Now, the issue I take with the afternoon tea is the sandwich flavors. The sandwich fillings in an afternoon tea are very traditional. You have cucumber sandwiches.
Oh, Algernon, yes.
Are you okay there?
Algernon.
Bless you.
In the play and the book, Algernon. Oh no, he was massive for the cucumber sandwiches. Bear with.
You okay, Mike?
Hold on. What's going on?
Algernon.
Oh no, is Mike trying to
Okay, you can keep saying it, Mike, but no one's really got any idea what you're talking about.
Was it Flowers by Algernon? No. There's a famous film with Algernon in where he eats cucumber sandwiches. He's big on cucumber sandwiches.
You can keep saying Algernon till the cows come home, Mike. I don't really. Yeah.
I don't like them. Don't like them cucumber sandwiches.
No. Well, the traditional sandwich fillings you would have.
Got it. The importance of being earnest.
Oh, good grief.
Oh, wow.
The importance of being earnest. Algernon ate all the cucumber sandwiches.
After all that.
I mean, how is that in your head, Mike? Sorry. I don't sound rude. But of all the things you've come out with over our time doing this podcast, that you've retained that there is a character in The Importance of Being Earnest by Oscar Wilde, called Algernon. That's absolutely amazing.
He inadvertently indulges himself by eating all the cucumber sandwiches he ordered for his Aunt Augustus, Lady Bracknell, before she has even arrived. He then has his servant lie to his aunt, who says there were no cucumbers at the market that morning, not even for ready money. So, yeah.
And it really is an insignificant part of the book as well. How do you know that?
I suspect it was quite early on in the book. When I was given books for reading at school, I would read the first chapter myself, and then I'd pay other people to read it for me and give me a bit of a synopsis.
Heavens above! Because I mean, the real famous bit of The Importance of Being Earnest is the handbag bit, right?
I don't know. Like I say, I'm not sure I got that far. No, it wasn't really retained.
He tells her that he was found in a handbag in Waterloo Station or something like that, and then she famously says, "A handbag," like that, and that's very famous. Look it up.
What is going on? What is going on? Come on, guys. You just need to be better than the pancakes episode. That's all we need to do here.
Can you tell us anything about how we get cheap tickets, Phil?
So, no.
In Guildford, or however you pronounced it, which was the absolute other highlight of the podcast, in a Gildy Ford. It's like your Italian heritage was coming out, and you just didn't know how to say it properly.
It happens a lot. I was in Milan on Monday. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that the importance of being earnest is on at Salisbury Playhouse in May, Phil. If you want to go and watch that with your children.
Stuff.
I vaguely remember reading it. It wasn't that exciting. So afternoon tea sandwich fillings traditionally would be something like cucumber sandwiches, a lot of smoked salmon sandwiches, egg and cress, coronation chicken, beef and horseradish, that sort of thing. So that is the problem we find if I was to take my wife out and my children and get an afternoon tea, we would be wanting to, have you got any cheese and pickle? Maybe even some cheese and Marmite.
I don't think it's an event you take your children to. I don't think it's particularly child friendly.
Oh, well, okay. So there's a place over near Brockenhurst in the New Forest called Rosie Lee. It's now Rosie Lee House. It used to be Rosie Lee Tea. I don't know why she's renamed it. And they used to do something called a royal tea, which was like a big afternoon tea setup that me and Holly used to go to. And when the kids were younger, there was so much food there that we could feed them off it. They would also join in on the sandwiches and the cakes and the scones and stuff. It was huge. And that was really good. And they allowed us to choose the sandwiches. You had a huge list of sandwiches and they'd go and make them for you. But if you go to some fancy hotel, you tend to get what you're given.
Yeah.
Which is the problem, because then the percentage of money you spent on sandwiches tends to be a waste. If someone's giving you smoked salmon, I mean, what am I going to do with that?
Delicious.
Oh, what a
beautiful. That would be my absolute favourite.
Yeah. Smoked salmon and cream cheese, please.
Disgusting.
Yes, very nice.
Fish.
Well, I tell you, I mean, it might be controversial, but the best afternoon tea I've ever had was at Café Rouge.
Oh my goodness!
Which, to be fair, I don't think a French person has ever frequented a Café Rouge. But instead of cucumber sandwiches, you got a croque monsieur. So nice.
Are you sure you just didn't go into Café Rouge and order a croque monsieur?
Little mini croque monsieurs on as the sandwich course. Lovely.
Oh, I love what they've done there. Love what they've done. Yeah. So I would like to do the quiz at this point.
Okay.
To get the discussion flowing. So I've actually done some prep. So it's not guess what sandwiches I like.
Okay, good.
Very upset to hear. So here we go. It's a quiz. It's a quiz. It's a quiz. It's a quiz. So, Mike, earlier you said that an afternoon tea is just an expensive packed lunch. And so I've got the prices of an afternoon tea for two at various establishments here. And all you have to do is closest to the price.
Oh, nice. Okay.
All right. Okay.
So it's very simple. So I'll start you off with Rosie Lee Teas in Brockenhurst.
Tension music, please. Tension music, please.
Okay. You want some tension music?
You know that Rosie Lee Tea to Lewis is actually TT, right?
Yeah, essentially you're saying the same thing twice.
Yeah.
Slang there for our listeners.
Very clever, Harry. I hadn't realised that. Maybe she did that on purpose. Oh, maybe her name's not
you
even
know
Rosie
what I
Lee.
think? And you were calling her Rosie all that time. How embarrassing! Oh, Rosie, this is my family.
Why have you changed the name, Rosie?
An idiot sandwich.
Oh.
I mean, isn't
I
it
can't believe
wonderful?
this.
Isn't it wonderful that your surname rhymes with tea and you do afternoon teas? I mean, it's just amazing. The coincidence.
And now that's why she's just renamed it Rosie Lee House. This the tea house.
And that's why when she told you to go up the apple and pears, you got told off for climbing in a fruit bowl, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's right. Yep, lovely. Right, okay. Well, now we know that. You know what? I would phone them, but we don't have time. It's very good there, but the prices have gone up, and now the children have grown. A royalty, as they call it, will not feed our whole family. So anyway, quiz tension.
And Mike, you don't actually know any more Cockney rhyming slang, do you? Because you would have gone on with that, but you only know the one.
Very limited. Whistle
Anyway,
and flute.
quiz. Oh,
Whistle
right.
and flute.
What?
Whistle and flute.
Oh, I've got to stop
Two.
this again.
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
All right. Sorry. Quiz. Let's quiz.
So then, the first one, we'll go with Rosie Lee Tea. How much does it cost for an afternoon tea for two at Rosie Lee's in Brockenhurst in the New Forest? Lewis.
Oh, right. Now, I am struggling to think of the start of a starting point here. So we're looking 2 people. The price for 2 people. Let's say. I'm going to say £55.
Flippin' heck.
Okay, what I would say is for this quiz to work, because I've got a number of prices, we are going to need to be a bit quicker than Lewis just was. Mike.
$24.95.
Okay. Harry.
Oh, I'm going to say somewhere in the middle. I was thinking 40.
Okay, Harry, you get the point. It's £45. £45. Okay, hold your blimies, Mike. Claridge's in London. How much, Mike?
You have like 8 meal deals from the co-op for that.
Claridge's in London. Afternoon tea for two. It's a fancy hotel.
£65.
Okay, £65. Lewis.
I'm going to go higher than that. I'd say probably about £80.
£80. Harry.
I'm going to £75.
Okay, Lewis gets a point. It's £180.
180. Wow.
£180 for
Yeah,
afternoon tea
Claridge's.
for two.
Yeah. Fair enough.
The two of you could go to TGI's and have a 3-course meal 4 times for that.
Okay, I didn't realise it was going to work this way, but Mike, if you wouldn't mind, after each one, referencing what you could have had for the same amount of money, keep it going. Keep it going.
To TGI's for a 3-course meal.
Okay, Swanage Railway.
It's gonna be Claire's gonna love it when she's eating her cream tea and you're going, you could have had 3 Tesco's meal deals for that, plus a Lucasade. I mean, nothing says romance and you're a wonderful mother like reference. Yeah, I could have been in the pick and mix for 3/4 of an hour for that.
Are you going to finish that cucumber sandwich? That's worked out. That's £3.75.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Right,
A cucumber's 45p in Tesco's. How many? Think of the markup. Sorry.
I like that your impression of Mike speaking is also the same voice you use for Alan Titchmarsh.
Oh.
Right, Swanage Railway then. Afternoon tea for two on Swanage Railway, so you also get to travel and see Corfe Castle and things like that. You also get a glass of champagne each.
Oh.
Or Prosecco.
So Harry, none champagne on this one.
£55.
£55. Michael.
£90.
Oh, blimey.
Hello. Right.
£60.
Okay, Mike draws level. It's £149 for that experience.
300 cucumbers.
Fish and chips on the Swanage Beach for that.
Goodness me.
So £149 afternoon tea for two.
It is 300 cucumbers. That was quick maths, Mike. Well done.
Thank you very much.
It strikes me as the maths of someone who's not bought a cucumber when the inflation is so high recently.
Oh, sorry. Cost of living crisis.
Cost of living crisis. Okay, Mike, let's head north to your favourite area, Edinburgh in Scotland. Edinburgh Castle tea rooms. Now, crucially, I'm looking for the price of afternoon tea for two without a Historic Scotland membership. So, Lewis.
I'm going to stick with the £60 which I offered for the Swanage Railway.
Okay.
It was very wrong, but I'll go 60.
£60. Afternoon tea for two at Edinburgh Castle tea rooms. Harry.
Good question. Very touristy there. What did you say, Lewis? 60?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 70.
Michael. How much would you pay to go to Scotland
Yeah, I'm sure it's cucumber sandwiches that have been battered. I'll go £50.
Okay, the correct answer is £100.
£100. That's 25 tins of Scottish shortbread.
Okay, did Lewis get the point there?
No, I think Harry.
So Harry takes the lead. Okay, the Baccarat Hotel in New York. And I want the price in dollars, please. The Baccarat Hotel in New York, afternoon tea for two. Harry.
Now, I don't know what the Bert Baccarat Hotel in New York is, so it could be absolutely really dreadful, couldn't it? So it could be a bit of a ruse here that it's actually not posh, but I'm going to presume it is. So I'm going to say $350.
$350. Okay, Mike.
$80.
$80. Going conservative.
I was going Harry's line that I think this may be insanely high, but I'm not going to go as high as I'm going to say $240.
40, crucial.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Made all the
Correct
difference.
answer is $3,000.
Yeah.
That is
$3,000.
that is flights to New York and back twice.
So that is the most expensive afternoon tea in the world currently, and you get to take home a crystal tea set. It's all served in the actual crystal that it's served in is worth $1 million. So I assume there's some sort of insurance you have to take out to have afternoon tea there.
I would not be taking my kids anywhere near that place.
Yeah.
Okay, but Mother's Day coming up.
Yeah.
So let's see. Let's go for Harrods. Harrods. Everyone knows Harrods in London. Afternoon tea for two in Harrods. Lewis, you are from London. You've got a big leg up here.
Yeah, always hanging out in Harrods. The old cup of Rosie Lee.
Well, it's the only place that Londoners shop, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Right. I feel it's not going to be as much as one might think. So I'm going to say £150.
150. Mike?
£75.
Okay.
No,
Harry?
well, Claridge's was 150, wasn't it? So
180 Claridge's.
oh, okay. So 200, I'm going to say.
And what did you say, Lewis?
150.
Correct answer is 110.
Oh, that is 55 Happy Meals if you use the McDonald's app.
Oh, does that when you go to the drive-through, does that not annoy you? When
Oh
they
yeah,
say,
are you using the app today?
Have you used the app? No, I haven't. I'm in my car.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Well, don't worry about that. We've got one more place to go here. Oh, let's go for the Assembly House in Norwich. You know, we should have more for our East Anglian listeners. So the Assembly House in Norwich. Mike, how much? For a
£30.
£30. Oh, think they're quite cheap up in Norwich.
Yeah.
Harry.
£62.
£62. And Lewis.
£38.
Harry was very close. It was £59. What are the scores currently?
Oh,
Absolutely no idea.
I feel
no
like
idea as ever.
Harry's got 4, and I feel like Harry, you are the winner.
Is it 'cause I'm cool? Is it
Well done,
'cause
Harry.
I'm cool?
Just twice today, but well
Four
done,
mixed.
you.
4 Toby Carveries,
For Toby Carvery's on what day of the week?
Sunday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it varies a lot the price you can pay for an afternoon tea. It's fair to say. The Savoy is 160. Chewton Glen is 90. Just
It's
cheaper than I would have
just
thought.
ridiculous. It is utterly ridiculous.
Oh dear.
What
I'm
is?
indignant about this, guys. It's we're talking crazy money for a sandwich and a bit of cake.
And a scone.
Oh, it's bonkers.
Unlimited tea.
Crucial.
I've got a kettle.
Possibly a glass of prosecco.
Absolutely ridiculous. Mad.
I'm sorry, mate.
Mad as hell, D.
I'm really sorry. If you were, so let's get on to some questions.
Yeah.
If you were a finger sandwich, what finger sandwich would you be?
Ooh. Probably beef and mustard because I'm beefy and I'm spassy.
I am a grown man, Malcolm.
I felt for a minute there like I was on blind date.
Yeah, and the trouble was you lost confidence halfway through. I felt, and you're groping for something to describe mustard, and I'm not sure spicy is the way you describe mustard. I've got to be honest.
Should have just gone with hot.
Yeah. That's the simple. You're meaty and hot.
Yeah.
I mean, that would have been. I'm
hot meat. I'm hot meat. Do you know I auditioned for Blind Date once?
Did you?
Yeah, and they asked me quite a pertinent question about what I'd be willing to do on a first date, and because I said no, they said, "Oh, I'm really sorry. We don't need to take this any further then," and that was where the interview ended.
Wow.
They just wanted filthy hoe bags.
So they said, "What would you do on a first date?" And you said, "No." And that was the end of it.
They were quite pointed about asking what I'd be willing to do on a first date. There was something specific they'd be asking. They were going after. There was a period when Blind Date was Saturday morning would be the scandal about the contestants that were going on that night and about what happened on their date. There was a bit of a period of that happening.
I feel like you would have applied purely because you wanted to meet Scylla.
Well, I did love Scylla, you know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so at that point they stopped the interview and said, "Well, in that case, I'm really sorry. We better leave it here."
There's been a lot of surprising things today about how much different afternoon teas cost. The least surprising thing has been that you applied to go on Blind Date.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to a hotel room in Brighton.
Of course you did. Well, so they were presuming you were up for anything then.
Absolutely, yeah. The Bohemian lifestyle of Brighton. Yeah.
So you said, in the words of Meatloaf, "I would do anything for love, but I wouldn't do that."
Yeah, and that was the end of it.
And that was the end.
That was it. Cut short. Off I went. Yeah, got the bus back to Shoreham.
Oh, not far then. I mean, you were in Shoreham. I mean,
I was in Shoreham.
International listeners is about 5 minutes from Brighton. Or
yeah.
It's not far.
It's essentially the same place, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So, Harry, if you were a finger sandwich, what would you be?
Oh, right. We're still talking about that. I don't know because ham and cheese and a bit of English mustard as well.
Because
he's spicy.
I like to ham it up. I'm slightly cheesy.
Oh, that's good.
I'm keen on the pedestrianisation of Norwich city centre.
Lewis?
Oh, we're carrying on, are we? Okay, right. Salmon. Because I stink and I don't want Phil on mic anywhere near me.
You said stink. I thought you said stink.
I did say stink.
Yeah, because I stink.
Right. Okay.
Do you get to eat a lot of afternoon teas as a vicar?
Not as much as you may think, and I may hope. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
There's
a lot of more. There's a lot of buffets, but less afternoon teas.
They don't whip out a Battenberg when they see you coming up the drive.
No.
It's a quiche, isn't it?
That would mean, yeah. I don't know if they that an afternoon tea, that would be lovely. So any of my parishioners who are listening, always can make space in the diary for an afternoon tea.
Do you think quiche is part of an afternoon tea?
No, I wasn't saying that.
That's exactly what you're saying.
No, what I meant is, if you're a Vicky, you surely eat a lot of quiche at bring and share lunches.
Yeah, we should do an episode about quiche. Oh, hang on, we've already done
that. Absolutely obsessed with bring and share lunches. Talk about them constantly.
That's what you're missing out on, Harry.
We've actually got a curry lunch this Sunday if you fancy it, Harry.
Oh, well, can I tell you a story?
Yes.
Mrs. B cooked dinner on Monday, I think it was, and we had chicken coated in something, and I said, "Oh, what's that?
Oh,
Smells
no.
nice." When I
No.
came in, yeah,
No.
yeah. And she was like, "I'm not telling you."
Oh my goodness.
She's like, "I'm not telling you till you've consumed it," and I consumed it, and I've got to tell you, it was delicious. And then she told me with great delight it was coronation chicken.
Oh, I thought it was marmalade for a second.
No,
I thought you were getting marmalade.
I thought it was going to be one of your chickens.
no. All right, Lewis, flipping heck.
Well, I thought that's just where I thought their story was going. I thought it was going to be a real dark ending.
No, it was correct, but
No.
there was not a grape or indeed a sultana in sight. But anyway, sorry, what were you? I can't remember what we were talking about now.
So next question: what are your opinions on people who ask for coffee with their afternoon teas?
Heroes of this life.
Renegades.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I have a personal rule that I don't drink coffee after 12 o'clock, so not for me.
After 12 o'clock, that is an early cutoff.
As you've asked, gives me acid stomach and keeps me awake.
Okay, I'm really sorry to hear that.
Yes, okay.
Really sorry to hear that. What is the best? So my answer to that is heathens. You should definitely have tea. There's so many tea options available, so surely there's a cup of tea that you like.
I drink a peppermint tea.
The
It's
least
about the
You don't
only
want
tea
that with
I like.
sandwiches, though, do you?
Yeah, exactly. I'm not drinking that with sandwiches.
No.
That's a palate cleanser just before
Yeah.
bed.
Okay, fine. Okay.
Why do you want to cleanse your palate just before bed?
Just so you feel all nice and fresh.
You cleanse your palate between courses. Come on.
Right, we all know why. Right, next.
A light sorbet.
Yeah.
Our upbringings are very different.
And a mousse bouche. I don't know what that means.
No.
Yeah.
We'll do our amuse bouche episode another time. So on the scones, and I'm calling them scones. If you call them scones, that's fine. It's okay to be wrong sometimes. No problem.
So Matilda said to me today, "What are you talking about on the podcast?" And I said afternoon tea, and she said it's scones for jam and cream and scones for cheese.
It's an interesting take.
Yeah. And which led me to ask the question, what is your opinion about scones, Mike? And can you have cheese and sorry, is the scone or scone a savoury or sweet item?
Okay, so traditionally it's a sweet item. If you're making a cheese scone or scone, that's a savoury item, clearly. I'm happy to have butter on a cheese scone, but I don't want butter anywhere near my sweet scone because that's sweet and butter is savoury.
Okay, I feel like what you've just explained is what everyone else in the world also already
Well,
thinks.
I've seen fruit scones with butter. I've seen them. And I'm not happy about it.
Okay. But about your plain scone, skin.
A plain scone would be if there's no cheese, it's sweet. If there's no cheese, it's sweet.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Got you.
Fine.
Don't mind a bit of chutney on a cheese scone as well, just for the record.
Yeah.
Cream or jam first on the scone?
Jam.
Oh.
Do you know what? It's one of those things that people get very angry about, and Devonians and Cornwallians go to war about, but I do not care. Whichever's nearest, I put on first. Or whoever's not. If someone else is using the jam, I'll put the cream on. I don't care. They all taste the same.
Do you not think that cream is like the butter replacement? So you have that on the bottom, and then you have the jam on the top. No.
Yeah, it's interesting. You wouldn't if you were making breakfast, you wouldn't, and you were having Marmite on toast. You wouldn't put the Marmite on and then put the butter on top, would you?
No, you'd be a disgrace to humanity if you did that.
I mean, as a school of thought, again, I don't care, but as a school of thought, one could argue that the jam had gone first because it's sticky and it'll keep the keep the cream on.
Yeah, and if you're having another type of dessert, a fruit salad or something, you'd put the cream on top. You wouldn't put your cake on top of your cream?
I wouldn't put cream on a fruit salad. I think that's
Oh,
possibly the craziest thing I've ever heard.
But I'd also put jam on top of my rice pudding.
Because it's gonna curdle, Lewis. It's gonna curdle. Ooh, God. All that
Oh, dear.
acidic is gonna curdle the cream.
oh, okay. Well,
Okay.
each to their own.
The Cornish say jam first.
I
The
feel sick
Devonish
now.
say cream first. So yeah, don't worry about it. Okay, other questions we have got. Where is the nicest place that you have ever been for an afternoon tea?
Oh, my own home.
Oh,
Because I was sat
That's your answer
smugly
for
knowing
everything.
that I'd not wasted £60 going somewhere to eat it.
So did you make this? Did you make this afternoon tea, Mike?
No, I bought some scones and I did make the sandwiches.
well, there you go. Hassle.
I mean, it's the same hassle that I make sandwiches every single day.
Exactly. Have a day off.
Not for £60, thanks. I'll have a day off washing my car or a day off, I don't know, painting the walls. But I don't need to pay someone to make me a sandwich.
When was the last time you did either of those things?
I've had quite a few days off both of those.
And who did you pay to go to the supermarket to bring back the goods that you needed?
50p.
Oh, it was a delivery, wasn't it?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Phil, ring up Phil. Phil, if I give you £5, you go to the spa for me, please.
True story. Just the other night, I had to go round Phil's and I'd take the last of his mint sauce because I'd cooked a lamb rump steak and I was furious that the co-op didn't have any mint sauce.
I can't stress enough how much when you were doing that I burnt some bacon.
Oh, I am sorry.
No, it's because you said I'm right. I'm actually on the corner now.
Yeah.
When you're on the phone, you're at the corner like of my road. So
Yeah.
I got the mint sauce and ran out to see no car at all. You're like a London cabbie. Oh, I'm just coming. You know,
Well-
not a London cabbie. I've not been there, but a cabbie. They just lie. So then I stood at the front door clutching my mint sauce for ages, hearing my bacon burning. And then
Could have just
You're
left it on the
notoriously
doorstep.
slow at coming out of your front door.
oh, that's just a rumor.
No,
Right,
it's not.
next.
You're incredibly slow. You lock the door at all times, even if it's like 10 o'clock in the morning. You lock the door. It takes you ages. It's a double lock. It does take quite a time for you to come to your door.
It's ironic because you love neighbours and they just used to walk through their
Yeah.
doors all the time. So, Jerry, I mean, forgive me if we've talked about this before, and do tell me if we have. We don't need to talk about it. But have we ever gone through the Grinch business on Christmas Eve?
I think we did.
I wouldn't want to spoil any magic that has been conjured.
I don't think any magic's been conjured, but I think we did briefly talk about you dressing up as the Grinch, coming into the house, nicking my bagel. That was which. I'm not that I'm, still upset, but it had the last of my best cheese in it, and just throwing it out into my front garden for the birds when I just made it. I think we have spoken about it.
Listeners would have to write in if we've definitely spoken this together in person, but whether this has made it onto the pod, I'm not sure.
That
If you want
that
the
Grinch
full story.
costume gives you a real license to be mischievous,
Clearly.
and I thoroughly made the most of it.
Absolutely did. Jane, who asked the question, says Tewkesbury Park Hotel in the Cotswolds was very nice for her afternoon tea. Right. Next question. We have got a question.
Did we actually answer that question? I'm not sure we did.
I said my house.
Oh yeah, that was it. Yeah.
I once had an afternoon tea at the Spinnaker Tower. It was for our wedding anniversary. My wife booked it, Spinnaker Tower, and it was lovely. Although there were some fishy sandwiches, which not ideal, but it was really nice. But it was on a really bright day, and it's like a glass room at the top of the tower, and I couldn't see, even though I was sat opposite her, my wife, and she couldn't see me, which was maybe a blessing. But we just squinted for about 2 hours and then went out again. But that was quite nice. Spinnaker Tower.
The image of you sat at the Spinnaker Tower, overlooking the sea, eating fish, for me is akin to somebody having their burger at a cattle farm.
Right. I mean, is it because this? Right. I didn't eat the fish. Obviously, all fish is horrible.
Fish live in the sea.
Yeah,
but right.
And their relatives are staring out the sea through the window, going, "Oh, poor old Boblet."
I don't know how people have got the nerve to eat fish and chips at the seaside, frankly.
Right.
That
Okay.
man in his catch-up there is
Anyway.
eating great Auntie Gwyneth. I mean, it's just dreadful.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Okay. Right. Next question. So sorry about the delay in finding these questions. I've just lost my page. I will find it. Here we go. Next question is from Joe. She says, "What do you do when your other half hates the scone course?" Madness. And has anyone had a decent savoury afternoon tea?
Well, you get 2 scones, so I wouldn't be complaining at that.
True. My wife doesn't like fruited scones. She only likes plain ones. So sometimes when we'll go out, they'll say, "Do you want fruit or cheese scones?" And she'll be like, "Can I have just a plain one?" And they might not have it. Yeah. So if they don't, then don't they normally offer a cheese one if you prefer?
What's her issue with fruit, Phil?
Oh, I don't know. She doesn't like raisins.
Oh, okay.
Or sultanas or whatever's in them. That you get a
Currants.
weird currants. Yeah, all of that. They're all the same, pretty much. They're all the same. We'll do currants another day. We haven't got time for currants. So what would you do? So yeah, you just get 2 scones. That's the answer, isn't it, mate?
Yeah, happy days.
A decent savoury afternoon tea. I once had one in Burley in the New Forest, in the Burley tea rooms, maybe it's Burley tea room. Somewhere in Burley was nice, Joe. That was nice. Next question. Do you eat the scones or the cakes first? So presumably you have the sandwiches, and then what do you do, Lewis?
I would go cake next. I think the scones are very, very filling, so I think I would kind of a bit lighter on the cakes. Yeah.
I tend to agree. Harry, you're the expert.
Yeah. Well, is it? Are they mini scones? Scones?
No.
Skins?
No.
They
you
just
get-
do you know what? It's never really thought about this before. Well, I mean, they're quite heavy, aren't they, scones?
yeah.
So, I mean, you've got to decide whether you want to risk not fancying the cake afterwards, if you have one. But yeah. So I think, on reflection, cake first.
Cake first. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Mike, you wouldn't. Well, what have you done in your home setups that you've arranged?
I didn't really hear the question, to be honest, so don't worry about me.
Fine. Okay. Jackie says, "Who can actually finish an afternoon tea?"
Me.
Easily.
Yeah, easily. Harry, we need to go to Gardener's Corner because I have got a question for you.
Yeah.
Andy says, "Who likes a good cucumber sandwich?" I assume
No.
he's saying. Yeah, no one. And being in an English tradition, should it be made with a burpless cucumber?
A what?
That's why we're here. What's a burpless
Okay.
cucumber?
And stop the music. Thank you.
Perfect.
So I think a burpless cucumber is like thick. It's quite thin-skinned. I think old-fashioned cucumber is quite thick-skinned, and the burpless cucumber obviously makes you burp less.
That makes sense.
Is got a thin skin. Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes perfect sense. Nick, yeah, 1 big scone or 2 small ones?
1 big.
2 small, just in case you can't finish one. You can take the other one home.
Oh, very good.
1 big for
Yeah,
me.
but I'd say 1 big because you haven't got 2 lots of putting it on, have you?
Yeah, exactly. You want to relax. The joy of it is you can relax, you can natter, you can gossip, you can just be with your friends.
That's right, you can, women.
Yeah. Oh, gossiping away.
I've got to go.
I'm
I'll let you answer the last few on your own.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Okay. Take care.
Much love to you all.
All right. Cheery bye.
Bye. Right. So Nick also asks, why are the sandwiches always on the bottom and the cakes on the top? Is there a logic behind the layering? scones seem to always be in the centre.
No,
Any ideas?
I think it's getting the right centre of gravity. I suppose it's in the middle, isn't it? So you've got to.
I wonder whether that's
no.
defining the order it should be eaten in.
That's true. That is true.
It kind of gives you an order to work from. If they're laid out like that, I probably would go cakes last, because I don't want to go bottom, top, middle.
Yeah, no, I do agree with that. But I know that is the way you normally. If I was making it, I would put sandwiches on the top though, so you sort of work your way down the. It's just me.
Down the pyramid.
But you tend to have more sandwiches than you do cakes, so then you would have to have it inverted. So you'd need a bigger plate on the top. Surely.
Yeah, if you're having different size plates, if it's going in a pyramid.
Or
this is
bacon and brie sandwich right now. That'd be good.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I don't know when the old pyramidical serving apparatus came in, really.
Well, I did some research
good.
and didn't come across that information. I think it was
fair enough.
No, it was around the 1880s, let's say.
Right. Yeah. But all we know is pyramids are made out of sand. So that's fine.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Talking of
so
sand,
it's always been presented like that, is it? Okay.
Well, it has since. Well, the upper classes used to have it, so
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
Talking of sand, today I saw this is a bit any other business really.
Yeah.
But we've come to that time anyway.
Yes.
I saw a life hack online, which
or hint or tip, as they were
Exactly.
called in the 80s.
But this isn't even a life hack, it's just stupid, where they say you should store fresh food in sand because it will last longer. So you should put all your fruit and veg in sand in your kitchen. And apparently it's a new craze that's going to start because people are realizing how much nicer things will taste.
Well, so I think, this is back to my good old, I always come back to, that things come round. They used to, traditionally, you stored root vegetables mainly in sand to preserve them, keep them fresher. I don't know about fruit. That sounds a bit odd. But yeah, so that's what they used to do in the old days.
But surely you then, no one likes a sand sandwich, and no one's going to want a sandy turnip.
You realise that they were grown in soil to start with, right?
Oh, for sure. But sand is much harder to get out of the crevices than soil is.
Okay, how many crevices are in a turnip?
Turnip's a bad example. I couldn't tell you if I've had a turnip in the last 20 years. Let's go parsnip.
Yeah, but then but you would cut the top off a parsnip and then peel it, wouldn't you?
Good one.
It's your Calabrese, your cauliflower, that sort of thing. You don't want to be putting in sand because you'd never get it out, would you? Yeah. You're constantly thinking about root vegetables, Phil, which is a problem I've highlighted before. So root vegetables is actually quite a thing that you could store in sand, but all the rest of vegetables, you're not going to put your mange too, your sugar snap in sand, are you? It's not going to do any good at all.
No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for getting angry.
Yeah, I know. Well, one of the bottos gets angry every week, pretty much.
And he's gone, so I had to.
Yeah. In fact, he got angry again today, didn't he? Can't remember what about, but anyway, we're not allowed to talk about him when he's not here because he gets upset. So
it's the cost. He doesn't like the cost. Doesn't like the cost of an afternoon
that was
tea.
it. Yeah, that was it. That's what he got irate about. So yes, don't. I think the moral of the story is don't stick your Calabrese in sand.
Okay, I'll try not to. Don't know why he gets upset about the cost of that. If you make a pizza at home, it costs you like £1 to make. Dough and all, maybe £1.50, maybe £2. But I've seen he'll happily go and pay £18 for a pizza.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes. Well, there you go. Anyway, as I say.
Any other business? Any other business, gents?
I have one quick piece. This one's for Harry.
All right.
Whilst Harry was away on his retreat last week, I was in Tesco's with Mrs. P, and we bumped into your good wife and your children, And
no.
and we were told by Amy that the children were making dinner that night, and they'd gone to
Yes.
they're making dinner for her, and they
Yeah.
were going to make burgers. Now I just want to know how whether that happened and how it went down. I've been thinking about this ever since.
Oh, really? Yeah. So yeah, I didn't. I mean, they had burgers, and they're all still here to tell the tale. But yeah, so Matilda has a habit of watching YouTube videos about making things and food, and wants to make it. So we had a one pot carbonara thing, which all burnt to the bottom, and I spent about 3 hours later on that evening scraping it off. And then so she quite likes cooking, and so she would have cooked. So I think fine.
Good. I was just very impressed.
Yeah. No, it's and so Hal has to be the waiter. So you have to sit in the living room.
Oh,
and
I've got a lovely impression of him in a little suit.
Yeah. No, he doesn't have the suit, but he has. He comes in with a bit of paper and says what the menu is, and then gets you to choose, and then says, "Well, actually, we're only cooking this," and then says in a lovely way, "Bon appetit," and leaves again.
Lovely.
Yeah. So that's it. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure magical is strictly accurate, but I mean, and then there's a lot of well, you've got to do this and then do this and stop doing that, and it all gets a bit hectic, and then he'll eat all the crisps, and it's all it can Matilda can become a bit Marco Pierre White or one of the other ones, Gordon Ramsay, get very angry in the kitchen. Yeah, so I think it's just a phase. Well, I think she'll soon realise that it's easier if mummy or daddy cook their meals for her. Yeah.
Layla this week. So Layla's my youngest. She's 7, and this week she's taken to because normally I don't have to make packed lunches for school. I do the washing up and I take the bins out. That's my role. My wife makes packed lunches and is allowed to gossip. And so I don't usually make the packed lunches, and I know that my wife doesn't particularly like making the packed lunches. So Layla has started taking orders down and has started making the packed lunches for the next day, which is great. So she's also taken up that role of someone who wants to make stuff. But I don't know what the packed lunches are like, but I'm sure they're delightful.
Oh. Well, I feel like we've just created quite the league table with our children, and my children are not faring well in this at the moment.
I reckon maybe you'll come home one night this week to a surprise candlelit dinner for 2 that's been made by your children.
Yeah.
I look forward to that day.
I can't wait to hear how it goes. Any other business? Harry, you got anything else to say?
Oh, yeah. Well, just on the cucumber sandwiches, famously, well, actually, it was quite a good link, actually. My dad on a Sunday evening would make the packed lunch for us to go to school with on Monday, and he'd always make cheese and cucumber sandwiches. And I don't know what he did with them, but they'd all go soggy because the cucumber, he'd make them the night before, so the cucumbers is draining into the bread overnight, and then they would get hot in your lunchbox. And I mean, they were quite famous in our house as being the most horrific things that anyone ever tasted. And then he refused to make them, which was a great relief. But
because you moaned about them.
Because we moaned about them, yeah. And then the good old "there are people starving in Ethiopia" came out.
Yeah.
And I used to say, we'll send them to him then if it's going to make them feel better.
Well, on that bombshell, have a good week.
Okay.
Have a good week, everyone, and thanks for listening. And we will see you next week. Take care.
Bye.
Cheerio.
Bye.